Thank you all for being here today. I'm going to first ask for your patience with me. As I've told a couple of you, I'm overdue for cataract surgery, so I may be having to rustle some papers and maybe even pull it up close to my face to see some of my notes, especially if there are any questions. I may need a few minutes to be able to find the document and make it large enough for me to answer. Just to give you some context and some background, I'm State Representative Mark Lowery. I serve on the Education Committee, Chairman of Insurance and Commerce. I've been proud to serve on the Education Committee for now my 5th term. And we've had a lot of volatile issues through the years. I mean, every time that we deal with adequacy, there are discussions about making sure that there is equal opportunity, that we're making resources available in parts of the state that may be under-resourced. And so the issue of recognizing that there are disparities in our society, I mean, it's a very real one. Where we get out of balance, though, is when we start talking about issues like the one that I'm going to be talking about today, which is critical race theory. The first time that I even became aware of anything called critical race theory was that we were getting reports, some of us were getting reports from the Arkansas School for Math and Science over a year ago, probably a year and a half ago, that students were being, as part of an orientation process, were being run through an activity called the privilege walk. Just to give you a little bit of a description of the privilege walk, what it does is all the students start in one straight line, and then a series of statements are read, and the students are told that if this statement applies to you, take one step forward. Sometimes statements will be read where they say, if this statement applies to you, take one step backward. And these are statements like, do you have 2 parents in your home that are still married? If that's the case, take a step forward. Does your family own their home? Does your family own more than 1 car? Statement where a student might go backwards is, do you in your neighborhood hear from time to time gunshots? What it does, the end effect of that then is to show this large disparity in social experiences between students who have stepped forwards dramatically and those who've stepped backwards. And I think that has some application that is necessary, I think, for students to be able to understand that we have different perspectives on issues. But really where it goes against the grain is when students are labeled because of that. Students that have gone forward dramatically might be referred to as privileged or as oppressors. And students who have gone backward, maybe even all the way to the wall of the room, they are called victims or referred to as victims. And that's when I really started seeing that there was a divisive concept going on in our educational systems. As we started looking at, as I and other legislators started looking at critical race theory and what we should do to ban the teaching of it in our public schools in the 2021 session, discussions of the privilege walk came up, but other types of divisive concepts. And what I found out is that this was not something that was just happening at, say, the Arkansas Governor's School or the School for Math and Science, but that it actually was occurring in our schools around the state of Arkansas.